Hi everyone. I have another reading today, and that's for the sign of Taurus. This is a one card reading because Taurus likes to keep it simple, less is more. Um, and I was tuning in on a lot of feelings of sort of discouragement and like looking at your life in through a disappointed lens, through a lens of disappointment about the past and maybe not feeling so hopeful about the future, feeling unhappy with the present. I think you're a very isolated person, the Taurus that's watching it, tuning in. And I think that that's okay because a lot of Taurus people are that way because they're traditional. They're a feminine sign, which means they're not like so out there, unless maybe they have a moon that's in a masculine sign that can change how they interact, or an ascendant in a masculine sign. But the true nature, once they've passed the age of 30, is much more reserved, internal, interior. I think that, though, the issue that you're having with this, it feels like depression is the feeling I'm picking up on. Just like a feeling of like, I think someone's not treating you the way that you want them to be treating you. I think this is your partner, like maybe your long-term partner. A lot of Tauruses are in long-term relationships that span decades because it's a sign of partnership. Similar to Libra, it's ruled by Venus, and they need that support. And also being opposite Scorpio, they really will in their lives find that they have support from joint resources. So a lot of them have maybe easy lives at times, but I don't think that they would ever think of it that way because luxury is like a given to them. They feel, you, Taurus, feel that you're entitled to luxury and nice things and having things the way you want. And I'm feeling that there's someone in your life that you're putting that pressure on you to provide these material items that they're not able to take all the load, and you're having to step up. And it's like, if you're not stepping up, then you're having to just sit in the lack. I feel like you're really frustrated with this person, but actually the real frustration is with yourself. I think you don't know how to be independent. And I think you've put a lot of stress on this person, pressure, but also like, it's all like, it's kind of like baby tantrum stuff. Like, Taurus is a sign that rules the toddlerhood. That's the sort of like every sign is a part of the life cycle. Aries is the infant, Taurus is the toddler, Gemini is the child, Cancer can rule childhood, and then Leo can be about just being a kid. Once we get all those lower signs, really about the who am I issues. And once we get past the sixth sign of Virgo, it gets to the who are we issues. So someone in an older sign, like maybe Aquarius or Capricorn or Scorpio, might encounter a Taurus and be like, you're a little bit self-involved, or like, you're a little bit narrow-minded. And I'm not trying to say that as a put down. I'm trying to show you that there's a lot of ways to live our life, okay? There's a lot of ways to find abundance. I feel like that you grew up, usually the Taurus person gets wealth from the father, because Sun can represent the father, and then Taurus represents wealth. So you probably had like an upbringing, whoever's watching this, where everything was like taken care of in some sense. And you were like, I am special and important. And you are special and important. That's not what this is about. This isn't that you're not special and important. It's about, maybe you need to get into some charity work or something. Like, I already feel maybe your work has to do with healing or communication, because, your second house is in Gemini, so a lot of the money that you make will be from talking to somebody, either translating or speaking different languages or talking, or maybe you're a salesman. I'm not sure, but that is how a lot of Taurus people make their money, or also just with the mind, with wit, numbers, skills. And you are a natural, like, banker. But with this card, Ace of Pentacles, I think you're focusing too much on money right now, because I think there's been a lot of fear the past 10 years I'm getting about having enough, saving, because I think you grew up sort of privileged, then you had a period where you were like really struggling, maybe with your partner, maybe you weren't, maybe your family was like, well, figure it out on your own, and you like couldn't. That's not your fault. A lot of Taurus people, I'm not going to say they don't fit in. That's not what I mean. They have a specific thing to offer the world, Taurus people, and it actually might not align with the greater society. It's actually similar to Aquarius, and the reason is because you are an artist. Even if you're not like painting or like drawing or even doing anything creative, you're thinking of the world as your art piece, okay? Daphne, honey, please. You may have a lot of responsibilities that are like weighing upon you right now. I'm sorry, I got distracted with my dog, but I think I'm gonna try to close the reading. Like, I'm getting a lot of anxiety about money, which is like very Taurus. Like, money is like money's on your mind, okay? Thing is, Taurus is also a very stubborn sign, and money, just look at the stock market. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. You can't change things back to the way they were, okay? That's the message here. Not just with money, but with whatever situation in your life that you feel frustrated with this, maybe the person that you're not getting what you need from, you can't. That's Taurus's issue. They try to change things, all the fixed signs. Taurus changes it wants to make it how it was. Scorpio wants to change it to how it is. And then no, we must move it to what is real now. And then Leo wants to move it to, I would say, what they want. So that sounds vague. So let's go over that again. Taurus changes things back to how they were for comfort. Leo changes things to how they want for comfort. Okay? Because that's their control. How do I want it? What's my will? It can be huge, like, boss energy. And then Scorpio changes it to how it is. Okay? There's a little bit of difference there, because Scorpio comes in to bring change, and they're still a fixed sign. So they're coming in to say, Scorpio comes in and says, I see the toxins here, I see the issues, and actually this is how it should be in the current reality, and I'm going to try to change the energy so that we can be in reality now. And then Taurus does the same thing, but you want to bring us back to the past, to when things were peaceful and harmonious back then. And then Leo does the same thing, but wants to make it what they want, like just their desire, which is a whole different thing about control and power. All the signs, all the fixed signs are very powerful. So I'm trying to tell you, Scorpio can't always change the environment to what it is in reality. They can't always show people truth. That's not always possible. Scorpio's second house is in Sagittarius, so that can be a major, like, point of self-esteem for them, is getting people to change and see the truth. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes they lose that battle, okay? Sometimes Leo cannot get their will. They can't get people to follow them. They're a leader, they're a king. Sometimes they're in the environment and they lose, okay? That's the truth. And sometimes, Taurus, you cannot change back to what it was. Yourself, others, the environment, the money situation. It's really tough, but you're opposite Scorpio. So you do have an understanding of change, of revolution, of reincarnation, and it's just sort of opposite you. So I want you to tune into that, into what could you flow with a little easier what could you run with a little more chill? And what could you simplify? You know, what is one thing that's nice today? Maybe you don't have the money you want. Maybe you don't have the partner getting you the big money that you deserve. Maybe you're not being treated like the princess that I know you are. But I think detaching a little bit from these expectations is going to bring you some peace, because that's the real goal here. So I hope you have a great day.